This video is about how to purchase headphones as a beat maker. So we'll just break this down really, really quick, okay? So there are two main types of headphones. There's closed back and open back. Closed back are typically for recording. So if you're going to be talking to a microphone, because it doesn't allow the audio to bleed, which means that the audio gets trapped in between your ears and you can record very, very good. But that doesn't mean that they're not good headphones. You can purchase closed back headphones. It isolates you from the outside environment so you can hear a little bit better that way, maybe if it's noisy where you live. And you just got to learn the headphones over time. But again, they say that closed back headphones, the frequencies can kind of build up in them. So that's where open back headphones, you can see that they have the slots in there to allow the audio to escape. Okay, so closed back, open back. Open back is typically for mixing and mastering because you're able to hear that music more naturally, so they say. But again, every headphone is different. And at the end of the day, it's always about learning the headphone or learning your speakers in general, okay? So for myself, when I make beats, I personally just like to use speakers, and I'll use headphones maybe at nighttime or just to test a mix. But preferably, speakers are always way more enjoyable to work on, okay? An open back headphone can actually cause feedback into the mic. Okay, so when I do courses, I'm either using a closed back headphone or I use earbuds, which will be another video. I'll just do a quick overview about, earbuds. Okay, so closed back for recording, open back for kind of mixing and mastering typically. But again, you can learn your headphones and you'll be able to be fine once you learn them. Now, a couple things here quickly to say is you can see these are 250 ohms and these ones here are 80 ohms. So what that means is really just how easy they are to drive. So I think it's 32 ohms is kind of like the lower ones, or maybe of these model. Anyways, if it's less ohms, so let's just say 25 or 32, it's easier to drive. So if you want to plug this into your phone, then the lower ohmic value will be easier to drive. Now, why do they have a difference? I've been trying to figure this out, and I think it's really just higher end amplifiers, might kind of power these a little bit harder and cleaner. But even if you purchase a low ohm headphone, you're still going to get a good experience. Just understand that, what should you go for? The 250 ohm, the 80 ohm. For me personally, my audio interfaces can drive the 250 fine. So I haven't had a bad experience that way. And then the last thing we will talk about, or actually two last things, is the type of cable. So for me, I always like the straight cable. I find that it doesn't get in the way as much. You can kind of control it more. A curly cable, for me, I find it's heavier. So for example, if we have the headphone, it's like what happens is this is dead weight right here. And it always kind of pulls on the headphone a little bit. So I actually don't enjoy a coiled headphone. And you can see this is not user changeable. So that's one thing to keep in mind, depending on the brand you're purchasing from. So for me, I like a straight cable compared to a coiled cable. But it's all up to you. And one nice thing about the coil cable is it does stretch. So if you ever pull, it has a little bit of tension on the actual jack. For this particular model, I like how it has 1/8 inch. So we can just plug this into, phones and stuff like that. And then for most audio interfaces, they are the quarter jack. And this does have a thread. So again, these are by Bear Dynamic if you are interested in that brand. This is not a review about the product, about the company. It's just closed versus open back headphones, as well as, just how to buy headphones. So we talked about closed back, so recording, typically. Open back, mixing and mastering, typically. Ohmic value, so, higher ohms is going to be harder to drive on your equipment. So if you're going to purchase your headphones, particularly to listen on a phone, then a lower number is better. In that case, it's going to drive easier. Coiled versus straight cable. I personally like the straight. It's just not as heavy on the head and it doesn't get in the way as much. And then the actual connection. So it's nice to have one that does have a threaded adapter, or like at least an adapter. The threaded adapter is nice. It's on there nice and tight, and the connection is good. So just a quick review of these products. Both of them are very, very good. There is new models out now, so I can't tell you about those, but I've had a really good experience with both of these. They are comfortable on the head. One thing I don't like about this design is just the audio cables, how they're so vulnerable to be damaged, but just always make sure that when you're done using these headphones, just in general, that you kind of put them in a safe place that they're not going to get damaged. And so there you go, closed back versus open back headphones, and a quick overview of how to buy headphones. So when you're out there, hopefully it gives you some more knowledge. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at itsGratuiTous.com. I have over 34 beatmaking courses on there about learning piano as a producer, learning how to create powerful custom drum loops with safe spots. If you're brand new, there's an FL Studio Beginners training and FL Studio Beginners book on my website. So again, just itsGratuiTous.com. Thanks for watching the video. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. I'll talk to you in another one. If you guys would like to learn FL Studio, check out my free book called 5 Keys to a Successful Beat. So simple it becomes creative. Get it by going to itsGratuiTous.com/5 keys.